Nation. Let's continue to grind and shine. Baby, we're going to talk about this Rain Dakota Prescott. Of course, there are people in the middle of the road with this. There's some that say, hey, all the blame goes to him. Some that say, hey, man, the dude is perfect, dog. He didn't do nothing wrong. And let's find this middle ground. Let's go over this one way or another. I hope all is well with you and you and you. Let's go. Let's get it. The grind for your mind. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Yep. Ain't no party like a Law Nation party. Let's get it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on. All right. What's good? Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Pookie, Ray, Ashaniqua. Let's get it, baby. What's good with y'all, man? I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. I know I did, you know. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, for being part of this. Let's go right over it. And I know you guys heard of Mike Martz. He went over every single interception. He went over all of them, not a few of them, all of them. So let's go over this right quick. Let's beat it right on up. Appreciate everybody. If you know what to do, just hit the notification bell, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. Let's get right to it.
So Dak Prescott over the last season, 22, led the league with interceptions. And, I know Dak. I've been down to camp to see him several years ago, and I'm a big fan of his, I guess. But went back and looked at those throws, and it's pretty interesting. I want to show you these, and we'll talk about it afterwards. But there's a lot of factors here that might surprise you. Some of these interceptions are just hard to understand, and you look at this in terms of the receivers. On this play, you're going to get pressure off the slot, which means you got man-to-man on the outside. And so if you just hold it right there real quick, right there, stop it. And the slot receiver, the quarterback, Dak, is going to try and get him on a crossing route, but the inside defender popping out of there is going to pick him up. So he gets doubled in essence.
Yep.
He sees it, and he's going to try and go to an outside receiver, stop it right there on a comeback over to the left side. So, there's two ways of looking at this. And one of the things I think the easiest way is if you see you get pressured or blitzed, you throw the easiest route, which is one of the comebacks on the outside, and not waste time on the inside thing. But that's just a philosophy thing. So he's a little bit late throwing this on the outside. But these receivers on these routes, when you hit a comeback, you cannot slide out to the boundary. You're giving the quarterback up. That ball is thrown right now, and the corner breaks on it better than the receiver does. The receiver down here at the bottom, as you can see it, he comes back. But the receiver up at the top, for some reason, must not have thought he was getting the ball. He slides out and just kind of quits on the route.
Pause it right here. All right. So when we look at all of this, and I said this over and over again. Ladies and gentlemen. Michael Gallup, he didn't supposed to let that man cross his face and get in front of him. And I did this analysis about the same week after this particular game happened and occurred, and Gallup got mad at me. He got really upset at me. But when the truth hit you, the dog they get hit with the brick yelps. And that's what happened. Now, when we hear things echoing from what I said, right? From a coach, and he's saying the same thing. Something got to give, right? So my thing is, and when you hear the analysis from Mike Martz, you guys can write down which ones were on Dak, which one was on the philosophy and the system and the scheme. And also you can write down which one was actually on the receiver. Now, Dak was late. I'm not saying that he wasn't. But dog it, as a wide receiver in the National Football League, you don't run a route like that. You don't. College, high school, middle school. There will be coaches all inside of your face. Let's listen to more of what he had to say. Let's go.
And, the result's a pick. You just can't do that to the quarterback. Now, he's a little bit late because he got hung up on the inside. But even at that, if he comes back to the football, this may not be completed, but it's not going to be picked. I don't know what's in the mind or what's going on with that receiver. The corner out-hustled the receiver to the ball. How does that happen? How does that work? So as a quarterback, obviously you got to bite your lip and go to the sideline, but I think I'd have some words for that wide receiver if I was coaching those guys. But this is clearly, in my mind, the ball's a little bit late, but that should have never been an interception here. Okay, so here's a situation now, if you'd freeze it right there. So we've got 3-on-2 to the slots here. It's kind of a bracket coverage. The outside corners are it's a little bit of a bracket on the outside guys. The safeties are gonna pick up the slant, and the corners are gonna sit on the out. So you got everything covered here. So you go to the inside guy, which is normal, on a getaway, and this is a juke route or a getaway or a pivot, whatever you want to call it. The hard thing about this play is if you know they have this coverage, this is not a play you want to have in there. So they must have got surprised by it. But from Dak's standpoint, you can't come back and stare at it because those two guys in the slot, those defenders, they're on a string to your eyes. And so he's going to bring this guy here on the left slot. He's going to bring him to the part here because he comes in and stares at that pivot route, right? You can see him sit on it right there. Ball bounces off and they end up with a pick. So by play design, it's not good. Stop it right there. He's going to win on the route. He has to come back and look at the slant here to the left, even though he's not going to throw it. And those eyes will keep him from collapsing like he's doing.
You talking about this guy right here.
Dak just comes back and stares that thing down. Now, maybe they tell him to do that. I don't know. But clearly, that's not what you want. And
yeah, right there. You look it off, but the guy right here, y'all can see that, right? So it's horrible play design. Now, I would want Dak Prescott on this particular play to run it. But let's listen to more of the coach right here.
By the way, the receiver down here on the slant route, he just took off. He broke the slant off and took off up the field, which had he thrown the slant, that would have been a pick. So they're just kind of doing whatever they want, I think, sometimes at wide receiver, which is pretty hard to understand. But when you're coaching a quarterback on this play, the only thing he's got to hold that slot defender off with his eyes before he throws that pivot. Guy wins on the pivot, but he gets trapped, and Dak has to know that and see that. But it's a tough play against that coverage.
All right, so you guys give it what he said on that one, right? So basically, when you look back at everything, terrible play design, and he said one of the things that the wide receivers are doing what they want, right? It's like, come on. Like the wide receiver coach in relations to the offensive coordinator, in relation to the quarterback as well. All three of those guys, somebody need to be hollering and yelling at all three of those guys, right? For one, the design. For two, the wide receivers running the crazy routes. And for three, the quarterback himself, right? You got to hold all three of those guys accountable. Now, as the quarterback going empty in that spot right there, like I said, I broke this play down many of times. Just run and get the first down. Live to fight another day. And on that stop route, pivot route with my guy, CeeDee Lamb, hey, man, you had him on the slant on keeping straight with the ball. Now, that's throwing inside. There's going to be some collision there. But you got to expect that hit. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, G says, fire Robert Prince right now.
Damn!
Yes, indeed. Lost in translation. Ain't no progressions on that one. Heck no. 2nd and 2. They called the right one. Everybody sitting on routes. And they was baiting everybody sitting on route. And there's a defensive back or even a linebacker in the middle of the field right there. Shoo, trust and believe. Boy, that's what we love to see. empty. We know it's 100% chance of of passing. Shoot. Let's go with this one. And I hope that he buries Dak Prescott on this one, because this was the play that against the Washington team that, boy, oh boy, we kept hearing over and over again. Dak, what were you thinking? Let's see what he had to say with this. And shout out to 33rd team for this breakdown.
This is just a bad throw by Dak. He's got to understand that he's got a cloud over there or potential based on the safety's alignment, but he just underthrows this thing. Most go back just a little bit, and you can see where he's looking right away when he gets the ball. Look at his feet. See how he's looking right at the safety there?
Yeah.
He's looking right at him, and he's got to know that he's got a high safety, half-field safety. But sometimes you can still throw these outs if the guy's got leverage, but when he throws it, he grossly underthrows it. If he keeps it outside, maybe it gets completed, but he underthrows this thing, and it's going to be disastrous.
Man, I
really
love
an errant throw. Just not a throw you should make into cover 2 or cloud corner, but maybe they wanted to do that. I don't know. And he does a good job here coming off and seeing the coverage and throwing the ball in the seam.
Hold on, pause it. Hey, y'all keep notes, man. Y'all keep tallies right there. So that was Dak Prescott fault on that Washington interception. Y'all keep tallies, though. Y'all keep tallies. Y'all keep tallies over there. Help a brother out. Keep tallies over there. Appreciate everybody for coming in and joining in to the nation. Baby, y'all keep tallies. I want y'all to keep tallies. It's going to be a lot of pausing on this particular video. And that link will be posted in the description box if you want to watch the full video without me pausing and rewinding. But due to fair use, I got to pause and rewind. I got to pause, okay? So keep tallies. I want everybody to keep tallies. We in here for a good time. I hope you guys are ready for tonight. Go get your libations if you need it. Let's go. Smash the like button. Shout out to you, Gina, with the G. Let's get back to it.
Guys comes back. He tries to move the free safety a little bit, which he does do. Sticks it right on. The ball bounces right off the offensive player into the defender's hands. The defender travels with him, so he knows he got mostly underthrows it. If he keeps it outside, maybe it gets completed, but he underthrows this thing, and it's going to be disastrous. It's really an errant throw. It's just not a throw you should make into cover 2 or cloud corner, but maybe they wanted to do that. I don't know. And he does a good job here coming off and seeing the coverage and throwing the ball in the seam. His eyes comes back. He tries to move the free safety a little bit, which he does do. Sticks it right on. The ball bounces right off the offensive player into the defender's hands. The defender travels with him, so he knows he's got man-to-man. Now, this is what you call a 79 flat to the bottom down here. You got a 9 route and a 7 route in the slot, and then the out route. When you throw these things, per Bill Walsh, you always want to come out throwing the flat first. You always look at the flat first, and if there's a cushion, you take it. Don't get greedy. It's first down throw. And he gets stuck on this 7 route, which he breaks it off because the guy kind of collisions him a little bit. And then this is why you have to have more separation, and this is why you come out throwing the flat first. This is a bad read. Or maybe this is what they've asked him to do, just lock onto a guy and throw the ball. I don't know, but this is poor, very poor. The ball should be in the flat immediately. There's too much of a cushion on the flat route.
That's Dak fault right there. Write that down. So far. Hold, pause it, Mark. What was the name? Martz, man. Pause it, man. Hold tight. That's Dak fault right there, man. Hit the man in the flat. Live to fight another day. That was Dak fault. So I've got 2 of them down for Dak right now, baby. Appreciate you, Mugs. Yeah. How y'all feeling, man? Let's go. Let me rewind it just a little bit, man. He was going a little. Marks was going too fast, man. All right. So that's Dak fault. Counting 2 right now.
Come out throwing the flat first.
Mike Marks.
This is a bad read. Or maybe this is what they've asked him to do.
Nobody asked Dak to do that.
Throwing the ball. I don't know, but this is poor, very poor. The ball should be in the flat immediately. There's too much of a cushion on the flat route. And the first thing about bootlegs, the first thing you tell a quarterback is you got to beat the edge first. He's thrown this too soon here. The defender on the edge is lined up between he and the receiver. If he takes 2 more steps, he's good. This is just on Dak. You can't do
3.
that. You can't. He's trying to lay it over the guy. If he just goes a little bit further, he gets a little more of an edge. This is just very poor on Dak's part. When you're backed up, you don't want to make a bad play worse, and he did. You want to take that ball right there and get what you can get. You know, it's second long, try and get another 6 yards back, but throwing the ball on the move back inside like this, the ball takes off on him, and it's a disaster. This is just very poor on Dak's part.
That's four of them, his fault.
So they have a little rub route going on here. They got a little cop and robber coverage. Safety comes down. He's going to chase him down. That comes off the slot out here. 85 now, as he comes off the rub route here, he's going to veer up the field just a little bit, which makes the ball low and come off his knee. Right there, you can see him leaning away from the...
He thought he had a touchdown, y'all. 85, you got to keep it live, man. Watch how you...
The throw there. And he's getting excited about it. He thinks he's going to take off and score a touchdown. You got to get the ball first. So by doing that, the ball's going to fall down around his knees. If he just stayed on line there, he caught the ball. But he didn't. Ball bounces off of him, and there's nothing wrong with the throw. It just, ends up being a disaster. So normally when you throw a slant to a receiver, you've got an out route there to challenge the flat defender. So you're throwing off a defender here.
Yeah.
Here, the tight end runs a seam route. This has to be a mistake. If it's not a mistake, if that's their offense, this is really poor planning. Because you've got nothing to control this guy that's working to the slant there.
Nothing.
And, if you have to, if the tight end goes to the flat, then you got a chance to throw the ball into the flat. That guy's going to move with the tight end's route, and you got a window to throw that. So either this is just really poor play design, or the tight end just ran the wrong route. You can't blame the quarterback on this. On the bottom here, they're going to...
Y'all mark that one down, so far, 4 on Dak. All right, so you said you can't blame the quarterback. I say the play design right here. You got too many mesh points right here. And like he said, he believed that the tight end ran the wrong route. Let's go.
If you have to, if the tight end goes to the flat, then you got a chance to throw the ball into the flat. That guy's going to move with the tight end's route, and you got a window to throw that. So either this is just really poor play design, or the tight end just ran the wrong route. You can't blame the quarterback on this. On the bottom here, they're going to run a sticks route or a dodge route. When you get down here, you can't just sit and turn around and wait. You can't do this. You have to puncture the undercarriage here and come back to the ball.
Come back to the ball.
The ball's on the way right now, and he's
standing there. Come back, greet the ball.
You have to go back and attack the ball, and he doesn't, and it's a disaster. So that corner falls. As a quarterback, that corner is reading your eyes all the way. You have to feel that. You can kick the ball out to
right here. You're gonna say about right here. Can y'all see that? He kicked the ball to about right here, but he's gonna come back. This guy reading Dak's eyes the whole time, like I would play it right there.
To the swing here. But he's got enough width there. I just think he kind of misses a little bit, but nonetheless, this receiver, you cannot do that. You can't just sit there and wait. You have to go back and attack the football. Guys are going to come underneath you and steal that all the time.
Who receiver that is, though, man? What number that is? I can't say.
You can kick.
What number that is, man? I know y'all can see better than me. Zoom in for me. What number that is? Let me know, y'all. It was a horrible, man. Wide receiver, stop stopping your feet, man. Stop stopping your feet. Come on. 86. Okay.
Kick the ball out to the swing here. But he's got enough width there. I just think he kind of misses a little bit, but nonetheless, this receiver, you cannot do that. You can't just sit there and wait. You have to go back and attack the football. Guys are going to come underneath you and steal that all the time. One of the routes that you really like against press man are these deep outs. They're really cool, and they should give you a winner 100% of the time. So this receiver on top, he's got to read the release. He seems inside, which is good, but he's got no pressure from the corner. So he's got soft hands. We'll call soft hands or soft corner. At that point, you can get him going. Now stick your foot in the ground.
If he leaving. Hey, all my guy Gallup got to do, he's leaving Gilly. Gilly is behind him. All that got to do is just lead him right here onto the outside shoulder or right over the shoulder. I don't think these two can get there over the top quick enough. But they're going to curl this route. I broke this play down many of times, and he rounded his routes. And I want to know how Mike Martz is going to break this down. Let's see what Mikey going to do on this one, though. Y'all get with what I'm saying. Are y'all seeing the same thing that I'm seeing? Because I love when people echo what we've been calling all year. And I can tell you, here's my honest to God truth about Michael Gallup. I think that he was overcompensating on that leg. It probably been some pain in that leg for him to change his body to overcompensate to get there. Watch what he say. And if it marries to what I'm saying, oh my goodness, it's time for us to still look into these wide receivers coming out of the draft. It is. Trust and believe. I'm feeling y'all, man. I'm still MG13. I'm still MG13, but I will put him in favorable spots. Your slants, maybe your if he gonna go deep, I would give him a slow go. But I'm not gonna give Gallup too many routes where he got to stop on his feet to come back to the spot of the ball. But let's listen to what Mikey got to say on this. Let's see what Mart's got to say, man.
Around and snap it underneath him right there. If you hit and come back underneath it, that corner's his momentum will carry him, and you'll come right back underneath him.
Snap
but
it.
when his cut, he rolls 4 yards gradually up the field. You know, my wife can cover that route, to be honest with you. It's just a horrendous route. You can't bend on a 7 on tight coverage. You got to be really sharp and tight in the cut and snap it and come underneath that guy. The other option that we had always given our receivers, if you're even, you're leaving. So right there, if you're over the top of that guy, just take off and go. See the quarterback back there? He sees it. He'll see it. And you don't have to stick your hand up or anything. You practice that, of course. But in what we used to do, in that situation right there, we'd let him take it high. But we also have on teams that, depending on the personnel, we said, no, don't take it high. Stick your foot in the ground, come out of it. So there's 2 ways of doing that, but you ought to win either way. No matter what you do with that, this is just a horrendous route.
All right, so when I broke this play down that week, I said, yeah, it was 3rd and long, ladies and gentlemen. And we see Schultz right here underneath. I think that those boys were saying, okay, we'll give you Schultz underneath and make it 4th and whatever, because they feel like he can't get to the 40. We can't get to the right. I think that's where the first down was at, right or here. So they was like, shoot, give it to Schultz. I think that in a foot chase, they can come down and crash. So they know that the sticks were right around here. And my guy, he just rounded his routes, and no shade at MG13. No shade at him. No shade at him at all.
Ball's thrown on time. He just kind of bends
right
it and runs right into the corner. It's just horrendous receiver play.
Hey, Martz threw a shade at him, though. He said, hey, his wife can cover that doggone corner. His wife can cover MG13 on that route. Come on, y'all. Got to get it together, man.
Dak is obviously throwing a comeback here at about 15, and there's the cornerback. Just, hey, what do you say? I mean, it's just.
Ooh, good move, buddy.
Unless Dak is throwing the wrong route, which I doubt, and the receiver's release is he's not running a comeback release. He's fading right out the ball, and he should be snapping it and coming back. They're not on the same page here, and when that happens, 100% of the time you put it on the wide out. So Dak doesn't.
He said 100% of the time you put it on the wide out. So I want to know, man, what wide receiver that was again? What wide receiver that was on that throw? Now, when we saw that throw, we were like, God, dog. Giants picked that off real nice. You know what I'm saying? And when we look back at it, they didn't even review the play because we were saying that, hey, did he get even 2 feet down? It was Gallup again. So far we at the tally of 3 INTs Gallup way? 2? Was that Noah lost in translation? I'll go back and watch it, He got the all 22. He way up there watching this film. But I can tell you, man, that somewhere along the line, either the new wide receiver coach were not pressing these guys to run the proper routes, or the offensive coordinator allowed these guys to freestyle a little too much, or, it's your boy Dak Prescott. We're going to have to really look deep into this. Now, White says it was never Dak's fault. Well, here's a guy that coached in the National Football League. He's not coaching anymore, but he's giving some analysis. And did Mike Martz, do he have a Super Bowl? Y'all let me know. Please let me know, as a coach, do he have a Super Bowl? Let me know on his resume. Let's go.
Nice job here with the throw. The receiver in the slot gets over the top, but he's close to that safety, so he's going to hold him up a little bit with the throw, which is good, because that safety's going to blow him up. And he goes up to get the ball, and he should have this. The ball's right on his chest, that he bobbles it.
Yeah, he's supposed to catch that one, though.
This is just on the wideout completely.
Ball hit his frame.
They have a bender in the middle here.
That's
going
one
on the
from
hash
CD.
mark. And whether this is basically Tampa 2 with a hole player, the linebacker there, you treat him like a free safety. There's a deep hole player, whether it's free safety or a linebacker like this, they expect him to come across his face. And he doesn't know, he doesn't choose either. You either go flat or you take it up the seam. You got to do one of the two. But instead, he just kind of runs into the defender.
Got a
like he's going to block him, and he throws it. I don't know what to. I don't know. I don't like the play, but I think the quarterback expects him to come around that backer and be flat, right? And there, to flat, drop your shoulder, come flat, and there's a nice.
CD says, you got this safety. You got this safety coming down for the create me. No. The CD like, nah, dog. Wait a minute, dog. All right, so we talked about this. We even heard Shay Sharp break this play down on First Take or what have you, or Undisputed, one of those shows. And he said, come on, CD, you got to flatten this one right here. It's wide open. And the playmaker, 88, Michael Irvin, he broke this play down too. You got to come and cut it right here, especially as he crossed face. And Dak thought he was going to rip it right here. And baby, I'm telling you, as a safety, shoot, your eyes get big and say, oh, he keep running up. And I see the ball because his eyes is to read down anyway, right? So,
window there. And he's throwing it. He sees it. He's going to throw it. But the receiver he's not even looking for the football. I don't know if he even thinks he's going to get it.
Nope.
He just hesitates. He doesn't know what to do. So he doesn't do anything, and they throw a pick. We got two receivers in the slot here. They're going to run the same route. They're going to switch release. One of them should be on a shallow route underneath it. And I would suspect it's the receiver here that just blew the last one. Right there, you got to snap it and come underneath it. And then the same thing here with 86, the tight end. First of all, he's breaking this thing too soon. He lets that safety just sit there. The safety didn't even back up a step. If he pushed two more steps and got across his face, that'd be great. But still, as it is, he stayed on his line there. You got to come flat. You got to do whatever you got to do to beat that safety that's sitting down there. Now go flat. If you have to run like it did, then whatever you do. But you can't just set a line and let that guy cross your face to the ball. He's not even looking for the football, by the way, when you go back and look at it. As you look at him, watch his helmet. Watch his helmet. He never looks for the football. Look at the line of his helmet. He's not even looking for the ball. And then the receiver took the path of least resistance and said, okay, well, I'll just follow him in there.
Yeah.
That receiver right there should be on a shallow route. It's just horrendous football. I get so angry watching this. It just should never happen.
All right, so when y'all say, and I feel y'all, when y'all say ignoring Zeke on the flats or what have you, it's third and long. And I get what y'all saying, but when you're third and long, you're not trying to hit your running back in the flats. That you're trying to get the first down. Now, granted, when you put in those spots of third and long, teams will give you the underneath, and they will say, okay, well, shoot, we'll make it 4th and 2, 4th and 3. The choice is yours. So I get what y'all are saying. This is no. What would it say? apology only for Dak Prescott. I know that these boys seeing the same thing, right? So it's not better than the interception, though. Yeah, I agree with that. But when it's 3rd and long, you try to get the first down. And at the same time, those plays look, and it appears that both of those plays, one being on the tight end, cutting inside, and the other one, the wide receiver running the same route as the tight end. We got to get better than that. We do, at the end of the day. Let's listen to more what he had to say.
So this is what we'd call a wrap dig or a wrap forward. You have a little sit route, and it's going to grab the 2 underneath defenders, and then the receiver in the slot should bend it a little bit and come flat down the 40-yard line or the 45-yard, 43-yard line, whatever, right? At that point, he should be flat and he catch it on the bottom hash mark down here somewhere. But he doesn't. Damn. He runs up the field.
Watch Eddie. Yeah, give me that.
This comes up time and time again. The safeties against these seam routes are supposed to convert to.
CD like, man, I'm finna go to halftime, dog. CD wasn't gonna take that hit right there. I'm just playing with y'all. So once again, CD's supposed to flatten right here. You got the safety over the top, and you're the last line of defense. His eyes, he's reading the quarterback. He's got every attention on the quarterback. Now, the wide receiver in this spot is supposed to find the soft spot in the zone and either flatten it and keeping it going. Remember, this was a play right before half. They trying to score a 2-minute drill. So the Cowboys, super aggressive right here. And let's hit play.
Basically digs or stay seam routes. And they're all picks.
Yeah.
He's not looking for the ball. He doesn't want to get in there. He's just kind of traveling around. Yeah, I don't know. He's running right there. He's slowing down a little bit. Doesn't look for the ball. Doesn't set his course.
Wide open.
He's got to play there if he'll just stay flat like the quarterback expects him. He should catch it on about the 42-yard line, just past the hash marks there.
Right here.
It's 3rd down. You want to net the sticks, so you want to be about 4 yards past the sticks. Sit it, work off that inside defender. So far, he's doing a great job with this route. Receiver in the bottom goes outside on his release. There's a nice window there. Quarterback's going to get pushed out of the pocket and be a little bit late, but that's okay. Because the receiver now should come right back between the 2 defenders and snatch the ball out of the air.
Again.
But he just sits there and works sideways.
Come back to the ball, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, that's just all right there. Now come back through split those defenders. We say puncture the undercoverage, come right between those 2 guys back towards the ball, and you got it. And he's throwing it as if he's going to do that. And of course he doesn't do that. You have 2 different philosophies. You have a coordinator that wasn't hired by the head coach. And when that happens, when you're running an offense for a head coach that's really not your offense, then the details of it, you may not know or understand. So you just kind of put it in, and it's not as tight as it should be. And these things are going to happen when that happens. The details and the discipline of that offense just aren't going to get done because he doesn't know it, or just doesn't have it. You got Mike McCarthy in that pass game that he wants to run. He's been doing it forever, and so the answer to that is let Kellen move on and do his thing someplace. And Mike, you come back and you put the screws to it, get it the way you want it, get the receivers disciplined, be more specific with Dak and those kinds of things. Because whether it's Dak or whoever the quarterback is or the receivers, they all have to be on the same page. And everything in the passing game is about the discipline of what you do. Without that discipline, I don't care who you are, you're just not going to be successful with it. So I think they did the right thing. I think it's in a great situation right now. I think for Mike to come in and hammer it down to what he wants and how he wants it. And I know he's very discipline oriented, and he'll get what he wants out of this. And it should be exciting to see the transition for those receivers. So I think Dak, with these changes, you have to go back and look at Dak for the first years in the league and all the success he had with Kellen and whatnot. And it's not the system. It's just he's coaching and the details of what he believes in. And Dak didn't look like this. So you have to go back and look at Dak when he's playing good. And they say, well, he's always playing from behind and doing all that it doesn't make any difference. You're still throwing the ball in the NFL and completing it, and the discipline and how he used his eyes is totally different than what I saw here in the last year or two. Different guy. And I think a lot of that has to do with what we just talked about. And I think, run somebody else's offense, it's just not going to get done the way you want it to be done. The quarterback's not going to have the information he needs. So yeah, I think you'll see a dramatic difference in terms of Dak's play, and because everything's going to change in terms of the discipline with the receivers. They'll understand things better, and it's just going to be a better situation.
All right, so with that being said, this is what it is. That was Coach Mike Martz on Dak Prescott, and as well as Kellen Moore, as well as Mike McCarthy and the wide receivers. Now, if you go to their website, he went further into the details of tighten things down. Mike McCarthy is going to have to tighten things down. His philosophy, I think that he can really step down and make things happen from his philosophy. When you mixing too many things in, you don't have a stronghold. You don't have principles. You don't have concepts, schemes, and systems that's fitting your philosophy. It's oil and water. Now, I get with what y'all are saying. Like, some people just say, hey, excuses, right? I mean, Noah Brown should have caught that. Dak Prescott shouldn't have thrown it to Galloway. He should have checked down Charlie, that whole thing all the way out. And when it's 3rd and 15, check down. 3rd and 20, check down. Live to fight another day. I get all of that. I understand it. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys got to have systems put into place, concepts put into place, whereas you should automatically have your reads. I like what my dog, A to Z Sports Dallas, William Steele, touchdown or check down, right? Check down to touchdown in this West Coast scheme and system. Well, we'll find out how this will all operate for the 2023 season. At the end of the day, I agree with the pessimistic sides of the Cowboys nation that say, hey, there shouldn't be no growing pains. There should be no excuses for Rain Dakota Prescott. He's been in the league for 8 years, Law. Stop apologizing for the man, right? I feel every word that you guys are saying. I feel y'all. But at the end of the day, you got to have some philosophy. Meek says, late night Law, what's good with you? Shout out to you, Meek. Appreciate you, man. Late is only relative, because right now, if you're in the West Coast, it's still early, right? If you're watching from Hawaii, you're still early. Yeah, Lamb, I think Lamb, it took him a minute to get situations together, right? CD has to take in some of those hits. And I think that comes with chemistry at time. Dak Prescott came in mid-season, and you wanted him to be already mid-season ready with no preseason games. That ain't gonna happen, y'all. That ain't gonna happen. And Lamb himself, he probably looked back at it and said, you know what, I'm gonna go work and get my body up together. Lamb had a phenomenal year last season. Phenomenal, 1,300 yards. I think he had 9 touchdowns, something like that. Shoot, Lamb did his job. Could have been more, right? With his starting quarterback missing 5 games, ladies and gentlemen. So if you can contextualize it, if he didn't miss those 5 games, maybe Lamb would have had 1,600 yards. Who knows? But this season, rolling into the 2023 season, you should see more and more opportunities for Brandon Cooks to get open, more and more opportunities for Lamb to be himself, right? And no matter how we go over this, ladies and gentlemen, we won't see Noah Brown out there, baby. Solid Duck says, I think less option routes will leave the defense reading on Dak, or rather than all of the skill guys, and that will help. Yes. Everybody with those option plays, that's changing about 20 to 30% out, right? Y'all love that Resident Evil music in the background. Appreciate you. Choctaw says, was it Dak exposed? Well, I don't think so. Noah Brown was wide receiver 1. He will be missed. Yeah, this is from burner account. The third. Shout out to you, the third. He is wide receiver 1, right? Hey, I would eat crow if next season, right, 2023, if Noah Brown down there in Houston, if he shows out and show up, if he gives you 1,000 yards, I promise you, I cash app you $100. Burner account the third, you hold me to that one, right? I cash app you $100. You know what I'm saying? Flat. And I'll go find you a brown jersey, right? You might be Eastside Harold, right? But I cash app you 100. You know what I'm saying? If he get 1,000 yards at Texans, if he blaze over there, fam, for real. I got you. I got you. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Tolbert is next. This is from Ken. Yeah, Ken, I look at Jalen Tolbert. You think that the organization, the staff and everybody, they looking at it like, come on, man. If Jalen Tolbert, when we played against Green Bay, if he was lined up at safety, right? Like, dog, you was on the whole other side of the field. If Jalen Tolbert was doing that, then I'm quite sure that he had even more hiccups during practice and training camp, etc., for Dennis Houston to beat him out. But I'm rooting for Jalen Tolbert. I want Jalen Tolbert to turn the corner. I really do. I really do. And as we can see, the 30 visits, remember the 30 for 30 video? They're drafting a wide receiver in this draft. Right, they're drafting a wide receiver. Don Weaver says Dak haters sound so dumb. Yeah, I feel you, man. It's one of those things, man, whereas the brother himself, he himself gonna have to figure it out at the end of the day. Because it doesn't matter. 12-5 this season, that's the floor. Going to the playoffs, that's a floor. Winning a playoff game is a floor. He's going to have to win multiple playoff games. And to satisfy everything, in my opinion, he got to win a Super Bowl this year. He got to. He can't go to the Super Bowl and come up short. That's the reality. Dak gonna get hated regardless. He got a star on the side of his helmet, silver and blue on, right? That's the legacy of Cowboys. You going to get hated regardless of it. And there's no way around it. I liken Dak Prescott to Steve Young, right? Who filled the shoes of Joe Montana, for those who follow the Niners or what have you. And they were like, left-handed quarterback who could run. Joe Montana was good for the Niners. But Steve Young was that athletic guy that could move around and get outside of the pocket. Passer rating at the time was phenomenal. But they was like, hey, he keep losing, dog. He got big shoes to fill. They wanted to go back to winning Super Bowls. But Steve Young didn't get the credit until he won the Super Bowl. Although I can't stand the Niners. But I liken Dak Prescott to Steve Young in that fashion. He got to win the Super Bowl. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And even after we get to that point, I recall, I love being on that side of the argument in the 90s, right? Because people still doubted Troy. They still doubted Troy after he won his first Super Bowl. Of course, the team collectively was all good. But I remember, man, vividly, Troy Aikman cool, but anybody can do that behind that offensive line and Emmett and the playmaker. They discounted Troy left and right. I know a lot of you guys too young to remember. And I was banging on the table then. The young law was still banging on the table then. Hey, man, those offensive linemen was developed by the coach. None of those guys came in the first round. Coach was able to put those guys in right places, in proper perspectives, right? Oh, man, Troy, he ain't Jim Kelly, man. He ain't John Elway, man. Troy Aikman, he ain't Dan Marino. He ain't a Steve Young, you know? Joe Montana. Y'all don't remember that, man. They dogged Troy. But Troy, when we got to the playoffs, that brother turned it on. But it wasn't him by himself. There's still to this day, Emmitt Smith got the playoff record for touchdowns with 19. Let that sink in. To this day. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the Dallas Cowboys, we always going to be scrutinized for the views, for the clicks. They did a whole take on Good Morning Football with James Slater. They had everybody talking Texas accent. The whole segment. Y'all saw that segment. Shout out to James Slater and all of those other guys that was on that panel. And we as fans had to sit through that. They were like, yeah, man, you know, kind of out of respect of James Slater, I ain't gonna say anything negative, but I was like, yeah. Yeah. Who wrote the script for that one? You know what I'm saying? Come on, y'all. I was like, I would have had to call in sick that day if I had me coming out there with the cowboy hat. You know, it was a come on, like, who wrote that script? But I ain't gonna talk about it. Good Morning Football. Cringe, I ain't gonna call it cringe-worthy, but it is what it is. See, no other team, they talk about that. If I was a person from beyond the third wall, right, to come down and sit down and watch these guys play in the National Football League, I would have sworn that the Cowboys were in the Super Bowl. Because that's what everybody was talking about, the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody talking about the Cowboys. They ain't talking about the Eagles. Eagles lost the whole Super Bowl. Oh, it's just back page news. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Look, the Eagles have lost the Super Bowl, lost to the Chiefs. They stopped talking about the Chiefs that beat them in the Super Bowl. They back talking about us. They can't keep Big D out of their mouths. If you think I'm lying, go jump to Twitter. Even go jump and read the comments in the confines of this right here. They watching now. Got a whole bunch of content creators that they can tune into and listen to, but they over here. They eating their popcorn and watching every move we move or every move we make. One ring, right? They 1-3 in the Super Bowl, but they feel somehow in their minds and their bird brains that their one Super Bowl trumps the 5 Super Bowls that we have, right? Those Super Bowls, oh Lord, well, hell, we waiting for y'all to catch up. Maybe if y'all can win 2 or 3, maybe it put a little bit more pressure on us. But man, they 1-3. And they have the nerve and the audacity to say, hey, Lord, when the last time you guys got a chance to see the Super Bowl in HD? Well, to flip it, well, we never see our team lose in the Super Bowl in Triple HD. Let that sink in while you got Big D in your mouth, right? Come on, you know what I'm saying? Catch up at least, man. We sitting here waiting. We on vacation mode, and they are still waiting. We are still waiting for them to catch up. I can't make this stuff up. But the 4-ladder, the 3-ladder network, they ain't talking about them. They ain't even talking about the great run that Pat Mahomes had, the man that won the Super Bowl with one leg. They was down by 10 at halftime. And they won the Super Bowl, but the first order of topics, Dak Prescott in his interception. Now, shout out to 33rd Team, Podcast and Beyond. Shout out to what they do. Shout out to those boys over there. Great work. But I need to see episode 2. I need to see Josh Allen's 17 interceptions and being explained. Because last I checked, Joshua Allen didn't break his thumb or his pinky. you know, or anything on his arm. Maybe he had a contusion of the elbow or something. But I need to see part 2 of the tape of the Josh Allens. You know what I'm saying? Put it like this. We blow out the Vikings. They struggled and lost to the Vikings. And we don't hear a syllable or a word about how the Bills, with all of those talent that they have on their team, with their quarterback being sullied and denigrated and cast out as a problem child. I don't see it. Oh, I've seen them fighting and praying and hoping to win their first playoff game. Y'all saw that? Who watched the Dolphins versus the Bills? It wasn't a walk in the park for them. If they had Law Nation as a quarterback outside of Skylar Thompson, they probably would have won that game. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Miami. But shout out to the Bills. I can't wait to see them this year. Don't we play the Bills this season? Bills Mafia, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking for revenge on them. Appreciate you, Elliot. Appreciate you. Law Nation, you're the best. Appreciate you. Burner account the third. No. You can't be claiming the Cowboys, man. You can't be claiming the Cowboys. Somebody click on his account and go through his YouTube pages and make sure. You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen wouldn't gotten us. You can't be saying us and you talking bad about your team all in the threads and stuff. You know, you can't be doing that, bro. You can't be doing that. There's a thing called being a critic, but also you got to praise us when we do something good. See, some of y'all call yourselves fans, but y'all say everything and anything that's negative. You're supposed to have a little balance in between, you know what I'm saying? You got to like somebody on the team. But all I've seen from you, Burner account, has been blaming Dak Prescott. You got to put into some positivities now. Come on. Don't be one-sided. Don't be wee-woo guy. You know what I'm saying? You got to put in some good positive things about being 12-5. Can't just troll. Come on. He said he liked Donovan Wilson. Okay, now, all right, so you like Donovan Wilson. How many sacks he had last season? How many forced fumbles and INTs? And you got 5 seconds to put that in there. If you take more than that, you didn't like Donovan Wilson. Come on, y'all put a timer on him. He's supposed to spit those numbers out like that if you're a fan of Donovan Wilson. What was his number before he switched? Come on. We hazing him now, you know what I'm saying? We charging him up. Mm-hmm. Look at him on the Google right now. Yeah, man, Lawton, turn me up. Time up, you know.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Let's go, baby. I'm just picking on you, man. I know you're a good fan of mine, man. I thank you. That joker had to Google up Donovan Wilson. Oh my God, that was just Googling up. But we love you, man.
Shame.
He said, I ain't know Law gonna give me a quiz today, man. Pop quiz.
Shame.
Hey, those open book tests be the longest one. You know what I'm saying? I would never forget. Look how long it took to take 77 so long. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just messing with you, fam. You can get off the Google page. But yeah, have you ever noticed, man? When I graduated, you know, you're looking for a job or what have you. The first thing you do, in my field, you go be a substitute teacher, right? And I fill it in being a substitute teacher in Jackson. And we went down here to this school, Callaway, and they had an open book test. And I knew for sure those who studied versus those who cheated, right? Because the open book test was really a sweetener. It was really 10 answers if you studied, it'll take you really 10 to 15 minutes. But those who didn't, it'll take them 30, 40 minutes. I didn't mind them. They were cheating. They were trying to network it, boy. It's the simple things in life that goes a long way, man. Shout out to the Jackson State days, though. You know what I'm saying? But neither here nor there, man. You guys been a great sport. I know, I get it. You know, Dak Prescott got to step it up this season. Phone line should be open tomorrow sometime when I go live. But we're going to get on up out of here. I appreciate each and every last one of you all. Rewind the tape. Make sure you click on the 33rd Team podcast. They got a wonderful excerpts. Although I don't agree with all of their guys. I don't. I flat out don't agree with their ranking system. But we used to have this saying, me and my guy, Vach, Okoye, when we first started film analysis and stuff like that, film sessions, as well as the others that do these type of things. We're like, PFF, yeah, it's cool and all that y'all put out these ranking systems. That's cool. Show your work. Break down the film. Prove it. And that's why my guy, Okoye, he came out with Prove It With the Film series. And that was a challenge for people so that you can have ink to paper. Tangible evidence. You just ain't throwing out a number saying, okay, that's what it is. Prove it with the film. And then down the road there, a couple of years later, Skywalker came out and he had the within context, right? He's good with that, with context. Foot's the other guy who, Foot's the king. Be sure to check him out. He's the other guy with Prove It With the Film, situations, and series. And now we got a new wave of Jay Tuck. He's doing great film analysis on film breakdown of college players, proving it with the film. My guy, Boss Cowboys Sports and the OC, man, they're good at this space of proving it with the film, with their analysis and metaphors and a whole bunch of stuff, man. So we doing a great job. My guy, Big Game James, low-key, dog in his college film. He'd be like, hey, Law, check out Deontay Banks, like weeks before the national media people get a hold up to him. 13-4 NFC Championship game and a shot at the big game, Law. Riggs! Yeah, Riggs, baby! Riggs! I'm getting too old for this. Shout out to you, Robinson, man. Appreciate you, man. Man, we got so many people in the East space, man. Shout out to Mark Holmes. Shout out to the beat writers, man. Even shout out to Mike Fisher and beyond. If I left out your name, man, my Cowboy family, man, we be doing a lot of stuff, man. Shout out to those guys at night. We got so many people around here. But I get it. Everybody want to blame it. Shout out to my guy, Computer Cowboy 2 on Twitter. He always doing a good thing. Defy. We got multiple dimensions over here too. Defy Talk Cowboy on Instagram is phenomenal, man. We got people everywhere, man. And I thank y'all so much for helping me get to this number too of 99K, baby. So it's gonna be a party like no other when we get to that 100K, baby. I appreciate it. It won't be possible without you all. I appreciate y'all, man. Don't you know? That's the sound of the blame. Yeah, don't you know that's the sound of the blame. Dak Prescott. We're going to have to come up. Oh, I got it now. I got it. Y'all write this down. We're gonna come up with a song. Don't you know that's the sound of the man working on the blame? Yeah, don't you know that's the sound of the man working on the blame? Yeah. Don't you know that's the sound of the man working on the blame? And we ought to have somebody say, Dak. Game, don't you know? Y'all need it. We're going to cut that one up. We're going to splice it. It's going to be triple platinum by tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I had to come up with the lyrics right there on the spot. Yes, indeed. People going to be in the shower. Don't you know that's the name of the game? No. Now, that's the sound of the man working on the blame. Yeah. Don't you know that's the sound of the man working on the blame? game. Brandon Rose, baby. Yes, indeed. I knew you were going to come out of the shadows, man, out of the darkness, out of the triple darkness, my guy, Brandon. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's get on up out of here, Cowboy Nation. As we depart, don't you know that's the sound of the man working on the blame game. Cowboy Nation, be sure to hit that like button, share this content, let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboy Sports Talk and beyond. Write these things down. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting or lied about, don't deal in lies or hate it and yet give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools or watch the things you gave your whole life for, broken and stooped and built back up again with worn out tools. If you could take one heap of all of your winnings to risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, to lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe one word of your loss. If you can walk with kings and presidents, nor lose the common touch. If neither foe or loving friends can harm you. Write that down, brother. If you can feel the unforgiving minutes of 60 seconds worth of distance run, then you have unlocked the true meaning of what it takes to be a champion. But most importantly, what it takes to be a man. Jim Rowan once said, "When the end comes for me, let it find me conquering a new mountain, not sliding down and over." And if you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep. If all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired, and it makes you hold everything taut in your cheek. If life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you will gladly go out there and sweat for it, work for it, and lose all threat or terror of God for it. If you would simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength and scorgasity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold, poverty, or famish, or fame, or sickness of your body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want. If dogged and grim and besieged and beset, don't you know that's the sound of the man working on the blame game? You will get it, baby. Let's get it.
Give me my thing,
Yeah. Come on. Hey.
I just
Wanna run it up. Thank y'all. One love. See y'all tomorrow.
I've been really in the field.
Hey.
Rush, I love the feel.
Lately I just wanna run it up.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately
I just let Lord, baby. Shout out to you. Don't wipe them 304s. Brandy, Smoke, 1-4. Pedro, appreciate you. Meek, not Mills, but appreciate you, Phillips. Solid, thank you. Robinson, I see you, fam. Let's go. Hey. Powell, DC for life, Texas bound, baby. Charge it to the game. Hey. Hey, did y'all keep tallies, man? Did y'all keep tallies? I count about 8 of them belongs to Dak. 8 of those interceptions belongs to him, man. No excuses for those. Call it too legit. The other 9, come on, man. The other 9 INTs.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Kinda check a song.
Shame.
Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Elliot says, rush time, baby. Cooper, rush.
Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah.
Hey.
I just be off the dome.
Yep.
I never own no chrome.
Come on.
Too many foes and clothes.
Hey.
Yeah. I be at home alone. I be in zones alone. I be on road alone. I've been really in the field.
Come on.
Rush, I love the field.
Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have a ticket to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
It's how it be, man. You see that wicked, man?
Lately, I just wanna run it
2 of you on that poor little one donkey, man. And then you'll see when the woman get off the donkey. Selfish, man. You riding that donkey while your wife is walking. Come on, man. Shame on you, man. Shame.
Shame.
That's what they do. That's how y'all
Shame.
sound too, man, with Dak Prescott. Stupid man. Your wife riding that horse or that donkey while you walking? Come on, man. You're a stupid man. Come on.
Depend on you if you win or lose.
Hey,
You know you got to pay some dues.
you gotta pay some dues, man.
On Monday, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Clueless, man. You don't even know what to do with that donkey. You don't know what to do at all. Y'all ain't riding that donkey. You can't please everybody, y'all. The moral of the story, the moral is, Cowboy fans, it's impossible to please them. It is. Don't let the street lights hit you, though. Hey. Again, baby. Yeah. Give me some stars out here, baby. And you.
Don't let the street lights hit
You all alone. Come on.
you. Know it's dangerous to go alone. Don't let the street lights hit you. Can I be your
Player 2. Thank you.
I'll follow
The songs
wherever you go,
of hits and oldies.
whatever you do.
Player 2. Sing it. Bama boy, hit that note.
7 years of the perfect love. 7 more and another one.
And another one.
And another one.
Shout out to you, Ed.
Finding you was the one I love.
Right now, fellas,
7 wonders all
if you're in a club right now, you're a little too early.
in one.
Get there about like 10:30, 11.
Lights hit you all alone.
That's the proper time for your mind.
You know it's dangerous to go alone. Don't let the street lights
Get in the VIP line, y'all. Don't be waiting in line.
hit you.
I follow.
Wherever you go, whatever you do,
Yes.
play it too.
Don't be there too early now. I know y'all going to be out tonight. But have you a designated driver? Call a Uber.
Crank and fly. Then barely doesn't
Shout out to
feel
Uber.
that far. So far, so far. Give a paper crank and fly.
And ladies, don't drink it unless you saw the bartender pour it.
So far, for baby, grain can fly. Fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys gonna be out right now. DC for life. Salute.
You have to be your biggest fan.
Fellas too, you know, in this modern day time, don't drink it unless you see it being poured by the bartender. Well, they got some crazy stuff out there, man. Come on.
You don't know who you're gonna
Get your damn act together. Don't like your attitude.
When you pray for rain, you gotta deal with the mud too.
If you got sunrise service, go to bed. You gotta wake up real early and put on that 3-piece suit with the 9-letter colors.
Because you don't know who you're gonna meet.
Get down, boy, them dogs out. Shout out to the church sock crew. If your socks can reach your knees, let me know. Hey, my sock touch my knees around here, man. If you play basketball with some hoop shoes and some church socks on, you're a baller.
Emotional damage.
Shout out to you, D'Angelo Brown. All right, we gonna get on up out of here, man. If I offended anyone, charge it to the head, not the heart. Salute.